I'm Jen.
And I'm Mel.
Welcome to Chokeholds Chill. Today's episode is sponsored by Usos Skincare and Limitless Tape.
All right, today we are sitting down with two women who didn't just want a seat at the table in jiu-jitsu, they built the table, the chairs, and a whole damn camp. We're joined by Mendi Carlson and Kari, the founders of Unbreakable Jiu Jitsu Camps, a women-centered training experience built around high-level jiu-jitsu, real connection, and creating space where people can show up fully as they are. We're going to talk about origin stories, competition, how this camp came to life, and why spaces like this matter so much in the jiu-jitsu community. So Mendi, Kari, welcome to Chokeholds Chill.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Yes, we're so excited.
You for coming.
Yeah. So where are we talking to you from right now?
We're just north of Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay, awesome.
So it's a DFW area.
Excellent.
Yes, I've never been, but I would like to come out and visit you and go to one of your camps.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk more about how that came to life. But let's start with kind of your roots and everything first. So Kari, we'll start with you. You're a black belt and you've been training for 10 years?
Yes, that's right.
And you coach full time?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. All right. So where are you from originally? What did life look like before jiu-jitsu?
Oh, so I was born in Colorado. I grew up there, but I've lived in Oregon. I graduated from high school in Medford, Oregon.
Oh, no way.
So, yeah. So,
How cool.
And then I went to college in Eugene. Like I went to a Christian college in the middle of the U of O campus.
Yes.
So I lived in Oregon for 4 years at one point, but I've moved around a lot. I have a Wyoming phone number because I moved to Texas from Wyoming.
Wow.
But I mean, my life before jiu-jitsu was really just a lot of momming. I have 4 kids. My oldest is 21, and so before jiu-jitsu, I was actually a stay-at-home mom and took care of them. And then their dad was a big UFC fan, and he was hoping our daughter was going to be the next Ronda Rousey. So he got them signed up for jiu-jitsu. And I was athletic. I worked out. I did CrossFit, and so I was an athletic person, and then I watched my kids do jiu-jitsu for 2 years. And we have our professor is female, Karen Baines, and I would watch the kids do jiu-jitsu, and she would tell me that I should try it and I'd be good at it. And I kept thinking, oh man, it's a lot of touching. I don't know if I can do that. And but through watching my kids and seeing my daughter Faith is 20, and when she did a tournament, and at the tournament she fought all of these boys and she kept losing, but she kept being like, give me more fights. It was Naga back then where you could just be like, hey, can I fight some more people? And they put a bracket together, and she just kept fighting all these kids and losing, but just wanting more fights. And it really challenged me of if she can push herself like that, maybe I should give jiu-jitsu a try.
How old was she at that point?
Oh, okay. Well, it was 10 years. She's 20, so she was 10.
Okay, awesome.
She was 10 years old.
And how old are your other kids? Is she your oldest?
No, so I have a 21-year-old son, then she's 20, and then I have an 18-year-old son, and then a 13-year-old daughter.
Oh my gosh, so, bless your soul.
Yeah, I did, I had 3 kids in 3 years, so that's where I was doing a lot of momming for a long time. And so... Man. But yeah, so I tried jiu-jitsu and I really liked it. Just, I have brothers, so I grew up, and they were wrestlers. So I grew up wrestling with my brothers and my dad. And so first time I did it, it was just, I went, oh, I really like this.
Yeah.
So, and then, not long after that, I left my husband and the kid's dad and didn't have any money and really wanted to keep doing jiu-jitsu and keep my kids in it. And so Karen like initially, I was a white belt who didn't know anything but wanted to earn jiu-jitsu. So she just let me, like, she let me help. And then, she was by herself coaching alone, having, as a gym owner. And so I was able to like step in and, I mean, at the beginning, just be a body,
Right.
like I didn't know what I was doing. But it was funny because my kids knew more than me. And so she would, if she had to be out, she'd tell me what to coach. And then I'd have to ask, my kids at 10 and 11, like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to teach. Help me know how to do it. And my kids would help me coach the class. And it was just kids. I was coaching the kids' classes. But yeah, my first tournament, my 11-year-old son showed me how to do an S-mount armbar.
Oh my God.
And I've been training for like 5 months. And I went out there and I did it. I got it. I got the arm bar.
Please tell me that he was in your corner coaching you.
He was really proud of me for sure.
It was awesome. I love that. Kids freaking pick up on stuff so fast.
It's so much easier for the kids.
I
bet he's like so proud of you in that moment too. Is like, that's my mom. Like I taught her and look at her.
Yeah. What a badass. So you were just like helping out coaching at that point, and were you kind of like working other odd jobs and stuff?
Yeah, I did other odd jobs. I cleaned houses, I mowed lawns, I did whatever I could do. When I started jiu-jitsu, I was skydiving also, and I had gotten a job like on the weekends packing parachutes for the tandem skydiving and stuff.
Yeah,
so
sick.
It was an interesting, I feel like I've had a lot of interesting jobs. Sometimes I say I'm a boring person that does a lot of interesting things.
I think that's a good thing to be. I would think of that for sure.
So with the skydiving though, I guess I kind of like adrenaline. That must have been it.
Yeah.
And then once I started doing more jiu-jitsu, I stopped. I wanted to be like off on the weekends to do more jiu-jitsu. So I stopped skydiving. So, and jiu-jitsu was nice because it didn't matter what the weather was like. You could fight people any day, all the time. So,
and that's still good adrenaline.
They're always there for you, always supporting your needs.
So I would coach, I'd work odd jobs all day long and take care of my kids. And then I'd help coach jiu-jitsu at night. And, I was really tired back then.
Oh my gosh. I can only imagine.
Yeah. And then Karen, over time, like I started coaching more classes and started like coaching enough that it wasn't just earning our membership. So she started paying me, and then I started coaching more classes. And, after I got my black belt, then I was able to start coaching more of the co-ed adult classes. And I got to the point where I was coaching enough classes, I didn't have to do any other jobs. And so I was able to, stop cleaning houses and just coach jiu-jitsu. And that's
awesome.
That's what my everyday looks like, which I love it. It's the best.
Awesome.
What did that feel like for you when you just kind of like got to that point where you're like, I can support my kids and keep doing something that I really love?
It was amazing. It was, I took a picture of my last day cleaning a house and sent it to Mendi because I'm like, this is my last day doing this. And, and it's the joke because people are always asking me like, do you do something else besides this? And I was like, no, this is it. And the joke is always, I'm living the dream.
Yeah.
I live with my mom, but I'm living the dream.
Well, what's really cool is, you're like a full-time coach and you don't own the gym, which you don't see often, especially like with females.
Yeah.
It's rare that we see like, you see just a sole female gym owner, and then having another female black belt, like that's so awesome. Like I love that for you guys. But that's like an interesting dynamic. So it must be kind of nice not having all of the administrative gym owning part of it.
Yeah.
That's, I always, people ask if I want to open my own gym. And I said, no, not really, because the people who own a gym, I love jujitsu, and people who own gyms don't necessarily get to do a lot of jujitsu. They end up having to do a lot of the administration and things like that, so I like that I can just coach jujitsu, coach my class and leave. And when I need to, get a day off, I just I get somebody to cover my class, and it's very flexible. I like it.
That's great.
I think that's fantastic.
Genesis has 3 locations. There's one in Azle where we live, and then another one in Fort Worth, and then another one like in Burleson, which is South Fort Worth. And so that's part of what makes it where I can coach full time is I coach classes at all 3 of those gyms.
Well, that's nice too, because you get a little change of scenery on top of everything else. You're not just stuck in one building all day, right?
Right, for sure.
That's really, really fantastic. I was a single mom for a while, so I get that dynamic of like, whoa, I can actually do something I want to do and take care of my kids. So that's pretty fantastic. So Mendi, your story overlaps pretty cool. You've been training for 4.5 years, just received your brown belt in October, and you said you compete, quote, a lot. Also being a mom, and your husband and you guys run a construction company. So tell us about where you're from and what life was like before jiu-jitsu for you.
Okay, so I am from the area. Like I was born and raised in Texas, and I'm an only child, and I've always been into sports. Like I did soccer and competitive running and things like that. And so I've always, been a competitive person. But my boys, I have 3 kids. My 2 youngest started jiu-jitsu in 2019, and it's a lot like Kari's story. I sat and watched them train for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I tell people the first year I thought I would really like to do that, but I wasn't sure about starting and things like that. But once I made the decision, I said, if I'm going to do it, I don't want to quit, because I don't want to be, this statistic of people that start and don't finish. So I waited until I was like, I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm doing all of it. So, so right at about 2 years of them training, side note, Kari coached them. So I knew her from that, but we also I started working out at the CrossFit gym she works out at. So we became friends that way, but she started running a ladies only open mat. Like it's always free. And when did you start that? Like 2019, maybe?
Yeah. 2019.
So 2021, I decide that I'm going to try jiu-jitsu, and I go to her open mat. And so my day 1 was with Kari. And so I'm on day whatever it is now, still with Kari.
Still running.
And now I have my brown belt. So I have not quit jiu-jitsu, just so you know.
That's amazing. I'm so glad that you're not a part of that statistic.
So at blue belt, I averaged more than 1 competition a month.
Wow.
Okay.
So that was my average. But then at purple belt, slowed down a little bit, but I tried to compete at least every couple of months. Mm-hmm. But try to do all the United States majors. And I don't know. I knew it. I started when I was 41 years old. So I knew there was like a little bit of a time constraint, that there's going to be this window where I can't compete or find people to compete against. And so at blue belt, I just knew like, I just want to get as much experience as possible. And so I basically followed in Kari's footsteps, because she was competing a whole lot at purple belt, and she was purple belt when I started.
Okay.
And so I just kind of followed. She was successful, and so I just did what she did,
Because Mindy, she says she competes a lot. She won double gold Master Worlds at Blue. She won Master Worlds at Purple twice. She won Nogi Worlds at Purple, got double gold. She just won Nogi Worlds at Brown Belt, in
Amazing.
December. So she's
she's no big deal.
Yeah, she's not just a competitor, like she's a
badass.
Amazing.
Yes, exactly.
I love that you're the hype girl. Everybody needs a hype girl, and I'm so glad you guys have each other.
Mendi, we are the same age, and I started jiu-jitsu at 41. We're within like maybe a year apart, but yeah, I completely know what you're saying about, because I had a little bit of competition at blue belt, and I was with adults.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. And then I was like, fuck it, Master Worlds. And then I didn't want to compete anymore. I'm too old for this shit. So with that, let's
Yeah, I also love that. I feel like I'm kind of following Jen's footsteps too. So I feel like we kind of have the same dynamic as you guys. So that's so fun. I want to get into a little bit more about like competition and stuff. So Kari, you've seen jiu-jitsu from so many angles, like as a student, competitor, coach, parent. What has competition meant for you over the years and for your kids?
Well, I have competed heavily also, and love to compete, love the challenge. And at our gym, it always felt like Karen Baines, our professor, just encouraged competing. And so it really, I did my first tournament when I had been training for 5 months, but I did have the advantage of watching for 2 years. And it didn't occur to me that I wouldn't compete. And, my kids competed a lot. They did Nagas and they did a lot of local tournaments. We got a lot of swords at our house. And that's
great.
I never made my kids compete, but they wanted to compete. It felt like going to class was practice, and getting to compete was like the actual game where they got to, see what they were learning and see how they were doing. So my kids all wanted to compete and did. And then I did Master Worlds at Blue, and I did it 2 years, and I won the first match, and then I lost the second one. And I was real determined that I was going to win Master Worlds. So at Purple Belt, I won Master Worlds, and it was actually December of 2020. So things had all been shut down, and they opened up Master Worlds, and I did it in Florida in 2020 at Purple.
Wow.
And I won. Nice. And then I had never thought about ranking. I didn't know anything about it, but I looked at the ranking, and I had beat 2 and 3, and I was like ranked 16th. And so I decided if I could beat 2 and 3, I needed to be number 1. And
yes,
so,
ma'am.
So and it was, right after COVID. So I kept like watching every day. I'd look at the website to be like, okay, give me some tournaments. I want to compete. I want to get my points. And so when I was a purple belt in 2021, I did like every tournament I could do. Like I had a few months where I competed in 3 different cities, just like, over 3 different weekends, because I wanted to be ranked number 1. And, I got there. I got to number 1 in gi and no gi, because I won no gi pans at Purple. And, I like the challenge of competing, and I like the problem sometimes with training is you're not, especially training with a lot of men, and you don't really get to see whether you're good at it or not.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times you're going against men that are bigger or stronger, and you're, you just feel like you're really bad at jiu-jitsu. And then I got to go fight women that were my age and my size, and realize, oh, I'm not too bad.
Right.
That's
I'm
such a
actually
good
good at
feeling.
this. Yeah. So I like, and also the, like, competing and watching my videos and being able to see where I was making mistakes and then fix them. My goal had been, I just want to be better at jiu-jitsu. And so I would, wanted to challenge myself in whatever way was necessary to do that.
So what I like always find interesting is how people who coach a lot and compete a lot, how they balance that, and how you make sure you get your competition training in as a coach as well.
The way I've done that is we attend the morning classes for our training. Like Mendi and I will go to the 6 a.m. classes for our training. And then I coach 11:30 classes every day. And then I coach in the evenings a lot. So my training is usually in the morning. And so that's kind of how I get the training I need. And Mendi and I do a lot of like drilling together. And I kind of, when you have a best friend who likes to fight, then you get a lot of opportunity to train.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Whenever I had my blue belt, I would tell people, like, at least I don't have to fight Kari. That was kind of my solace, like, going into a competition. Like, at least they're not black belts. Like, at least they're not Kari. But so that gave me a lot of confidence. Like, not everybody gets to, have their number one training partner be a competitive black belt. So I feel like I always call her my unfair advantage, but she said there was nothing better for her jiu-jitsu than to have a hungry blue belt. So
hell yeah.
Amazing.
I would imagine like that's like just as satisfying for you, Kari, to see Mendi like develop and get so much better over the years. Like sometimes I have trouble deciding if I find coaching or competing and training more rewarding.
Coaching.
Like, and most of the time it is coaching for me, and because obviously I do that a lot more. But what is your guys's like preference? Do you prefer coaching competitions or actually competing?
I think they're both rewarding in their own, their own way. Like, I love to compete, and I feel like part of being a coach and competing is a part of coaching, right?
Yeah,
I'll put myself out there. I understand. I empathize. I know what people are going through. I know what it's like to put yourself in that stressful situation, and knowing like this isn't just about getting better at jiu-jitsu. This is about developing your character and putting yourself in a situation and learning how to cope and to do well and to master your mind, And so I think that's actually coaching too, if you're also a coach.
Yeah.
I totally
so
agree.
It's really hard, but it's really great to watch. Like, we just recently had one of our white belts that's now she just got her blue belt, but her very first competition, she went out and she fought really hard. She actually had to fight up. She had to fight a blue belt, and she got beat up and she lost, but we were so proud of her. But she came back almost 2 years later and went out there, and she lost her it was like best 2 out of 3, and she lost her first match. And she went out there and like dug deep, and she won the last 2 matches, and she won gold. And like to watch her do that, and to see her like find, like that there's more down in her heart than she knew, and to see her pull that out was just, that's super rewarding as a coach.
For sure.
That's so cool.
So, Mendi, what has competing taught you about yourself? You're just saying things about growing emotionally and how you change as a person. Have you changed as a mom also?
Oh, definitely. I mean, especially, I guess, if you can go back to when my boys did jiu-jitsu before I started, when I started training, you just learn how hard it is, and how, we're asking a lot of kids to do jujitsu, like, especially as parents, where you want to comfort them and make their life easier. But, like in the real world, they need to have to have some opposition. They need to learn, like, to dig deep and to be uncomfortable and all those things. But, you hear the parents on the sideline that don't train, that are just telling their kids to just stand up, or don't let them do that to you.
The word.
And all you want to do is like go, hey, here's the gi. Let's get out there and why don't you just stand up?
Step on the mat, sir.
Right.
Let me get you down for a sec.
Yeah.
And so at all of our gyms, we have a big giant stop sign that says no white belt coaches.
That's great. We should.
It's for the parents. It's not for anybody else. It's for the parents, because they just don't know. Like, they don't know how hard it is until you do it. And so I guess, just seeing your kids, put themselves out there. My kids, like, it always astounded me that they could be like just cutting up and playing with their friends. And I'm like, they're in the bullpen. I'm like, hey, you're up. And they're like, okay. And they just jump on the mat.
How do you go into competition? Are you like that now, where you could just hop in, or do you need your space?
So I feel like over time I've kind of developed, how I do things. One of the big things is practicing gratitude and remembering that I get to do that. That there's a lot of people that are probably way better at jiu-jitsu than me, but they don't have the resources to compete.
Right.
And so I get to be there. My body is still, capable at my age to do the thing. And so practicing gratitude, and then remembering that I really actually love jiu-jitsu, like in that, and I'm the one that actually signed up for the thing. But
like, you signed the waiver. You signed the waiver.
Yes, training my mind to know that all the nerves and things that are happening in my body are natural, and that's it's in preparation for something. One of the things that Kari and I say is that we're so excited instead of we're so nervous about things.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's great.
Because they did a study, like, people going into the same, like competition or whatever, one would tell themselves, I'm so excited, or I'm really excited, instead of I'm nervous.
Yeah.
And because the emotions, the physical reactions are all the same as when you're nervous or excited, but you have to tell your mind, this is because I'm excited. And so, yeah, that's what we do.
And in that study, the people who said they were excited performed better. They did better. And so it is, it's something we say all the time. We just, even like
outside of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, outside of jiu-jitsu, when, we have something that is like, oh, I'm so excited to go deal with it.
And obviously, like, all of your experience and the growth that you've had through that has, brought Unbreakable to life. So before we dig more into that and the jiu-jitsu camps that you guys do, I want to hear, and this is kind of a hard question, but if you had to pick one thing that you feel like has been like the best thing that you've seen from, like, out of your kids, like their growth from jiu-jitsu, what would you say, like, your favorite change or improvement has been with that experience?
Well, I can say one of the things that I see in my kids, especially now that they're adults, is that they're very confident people.
Yeah.
And I really think that's from doing jiu-jitsu. When you fight people, you've gone to class and people are trying to choke you and fight you, and you learn that you can handle these hard situations. It makes them confident. And, my kids are all like adults that have moved out, and they're very confident in what they do and how they carry themselves. And I really attribute a lot of that to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. And I want to ask you the same thing about yourself, is what is the best thing that jiu-jitsu has given you in terms of your growth?
I would say almost the same thing. It's made me a more confident person. If you would have told white belt Kari that she would coach co-ed classes full of men that are twice her size, I would have said that I could never do that.
That's amazing.
And So I would not have thought I was capable of doing all that I can do now.
Yeah. And Mendi, what about you? What would you say your favorite things, or what have your kids and you gotten the best out of jiu-jitsu?
I think for my kids, it is this endurance, right? Like that they can be put in a situation and they can work hard and they can, be at a disadvantage and work their way out. Whereas, they play football now. They're training once a week just because mom, but they're all about football now. They're teenage boys and all their friends play football and that's their thing. But when they go to two-a-days and they tell me like they're out there pushing and half the kids are puking and, they kind of have like they have an overdrive that I really think it's from jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
because they've pushed, they've pushed through the hard to get past it. And so I think that's part of it. And I do think they're really confident.
Yeah. And playing football, they know how to fall because of jiu-jitsu.
They know how to fall. And they know how to tackle.
Yeah, that's like
they can do some blast doubles. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like it's huge if you can protect your head and not get concussed. I've heard of like NFL players taking jiu-jitsu in the off season to help learn how to fall better.
That makes sense.
So like Tua, who's had 1 million concussions, like he did in the off season. But anyways, let's get into.
I want to hear about Mendi though personally. What has it done for you?
Geez. It's probably the same thing as like I like the grind of jiu-jitsu. When we're talking about competing and things like that, I like preparation and things like that. But I think as far as being like a business owner and being able to like be comfortable being uncomfortable, having uncomfortable conversations, being assertive, it's just, I guess it brings confidence and knowing that I can like put myself in any kind of situation, whether it's physical or, mental, that I can endure it and do what needs to be done.
Right.
Do hard things.
Yes. I love it.
Reminds you of how capable you are. Which
Definitely.
is awesome.
Amazing.
Well, one thing we haven't talked about is we are really passionate about women doing jiu-jitsu.
Yes, let's dive into this.
We have a female black belt professor, and so she got us into jiu-jitsu, and then we've kind of carried that on and are trying to get more women into jiu-jitsu. So we have women's classes during kids classes so that moms can bring their kids to their class and then do class for themselves. We have the free ladies open mat that Mendi started with, which we call it an open mat, but it's not like a normal open mat. It is more of what I tell the ladies is come try this out. We'll take care of you. And I mean it in a nice way. Like we kind of the ladies that are experienced we have new women come and we kind of pass them around amongst the experienced ladies and show them moves and help them get comfortable. And I make it free.
Yeah.
So that way it's easier because I feel, especially like as moms, how hard it is to spend money on yourself, to set aside time for yourself. And so our goal with our women's program at Genesis is to take away as many of those barriers as possible to get women on the mat. Because, talking about how jiu-jitsu has changed us, we want other women to have that opportunity to grow confidence, to see how capable they are. And so we work really hard in our gym to get as many ladies in the door and help them, do jiu-jitsu. We do a lot of ladies only classes because especially as women, we understand how the struggles that women have when they start jujitsu.
Right.
You know, because we remember what it was like to be in a co-ed class, which actually meant a bunch of men, and we're, you know, the only woman or
Yes.
the two of us, and having, you know, and it's so funny, like women realizing the things that they're worried about, like at the beginning, a lot of times is they're worried about making their training partner uncomfortable,
Right.
or they're worried about being like, if they're not understanding, and they're not being a good partner, they're being too heavy, or, you know, they're being too mean, and it's like, we really work hard with the ladies to, one of the things we say is, you know, at the beginning, I tell them, like, this is weird for you, this touching, but it's not weird for your partner. Like, she does this all the time, you know, and telling them, like, you're not going to bother her. You're not going to be frustrating if you ask questions. You can be, you know, because it's so funny. Women start and they think they should be good at it. And they're so hard on themselves. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's funny, you know, I was talking to one of the male coaches about the insecurities that women have of, you know, not being a good partner. And the man was like, yeah, I don't think about my partner. I'm there for me.
Yeah.
You know? But with women, it's just, you know, like women don't want to be a burden.
Right.
And so
Conditioned that way. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so with our classes, trying, you know, we really focus on like positivity, and, you know, telling them, like, keep the voices positive in your mind, like telling yourself, you know, rather than like, I'm not good at this, be like, I'm learning, I'm new, I don't know how to do this yet. And so yet, and like keeping that like growth mindset and the focus on, you know, you can learn and you can get better, and you know, and you're wanted and welcomed, and so that, you know, I coach, you know, co-ed classes, we coach women's classes, but the ladies classes are really they're what's really important to me, and you know, and where we work really hard to foster relationships, and you know, and creating community for the ladies. I'm talking a lot. I'm gonna let Mendi talk.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm a product of our ladies open mat. You know, I went and got passed around and learned and learned jujitsu. You know, and I call our ladies open mat because it's free and it's unassuming, and you know, we take down all the barriers of sweaty men and strange things, and I call it the gateway drug. Like, we get the ladies. We get the ladies in, we give them the Cadillac treatment, they fall in love with jujitsu, and then a lot of them will start going to co-ed classes, you know, and they have more confidence. But we, you know, the initial things that would keep women away, we try to take that away, you know, until they're acclimated. And I think it's great. And, you know, it is a thing, you know, Kari says a lot, like, you know, we're moms, so we'll talk about being moms a lot, but moms just do the same thing every day, you know, and for a mom to step into a strange place and like given a task that she knows nothing about, you know, she's not used to like learning something new, or, you know, stepping outside of her comfort zone. And so to watch the women evolve, you know, from that day oneer that was like, I don't want to be heavy, to I tell them, I promise you in about 6 months, you'll take it as a compliment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's, you know, like I said, I'm a product of it. So I'm a believer. And so I caught Kari's vision, and I wanted to help cultivate that. And that's really where, you know, we fell in love with the idea of going and creating a camp, because we've taken girls trips, and we've gone to, we do a lot of jiu-jitsu field trips where we go to seminars, or we've been to like the Alchemize camp and things like that. And we wanted to bring that to our community.
Sure.
Where they didn't have to get on a plane or, you know, spend money to get a hotel or things like that, that it's, you know, in their backyard, because we have a huge like women's grappling community in DFW. I don't know. I think we had like 4 or 5 gold medalists at Nogi Worlds this year from DFW.
Wow.
Just women. And so it was really cool to see like my cross training partners, go out and kill it. And
hell yes.
Yeah. So we wanted, we love our community and we wanted to give back. And so that's what it was born out of.
We can talk about the most exciting part.
Let's get into Unbreakable.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Unbreakable Jiu Jitsu Camps.
And making a camp that's, in DFW and accessible for ladies in this area, and especially thinking about moms, because going to a camp that's far away, they have to take time away from their family to travel.
Right.
There's extra time for travel and plane tickets, and again, it's trying to remove barriers so women have access to more. And the idea with Unbreakable is not giving ladies a camp to come to, but also giving like different gyms, schools, something of like, hey, you could bring a group of your ladies from your gym and come to this camp.
Absolutely.
And they can be together. And, relationships are what keep women coming back to class. They come back because they want to see their friends. And, because if you just focus on some people are like us, we're like the grind and we like to, we like the push. But some of the ladies, they'll say, if it wasn't for the relationships and friendships they have, they would have quit by now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so, our like jujitsu field trips, we did a girls trip to Austin and competed, and it was fun. But having a group of ladies together was fun, but then having to compete was like stressful, because we're all competing and cutting weight and things like that. And so like having this camp of like, hey, you could do a girls trip where you get to just do jujitsu and have fun. You don't have to have all of the stress that comes with competing.
No pressure added, just a good time.
Yes, for sure.
How long were you guys talking about this and kind of cultivating this idea before you made it happen?
Well, in my journal in 2024, one of my goals I wrote, I want to host a camp in 2025. So
nice.
I'm a little shy, a couple months shy, but
so close though. I call it a win.
So close. But that was a goal, and Kari's like my accountability partner, and so she, if I'm doing it, she's doing it. Like we're all in, and as far as goal setting, it's like, what are we going to do? We can do this. We do hard things every day. Like we're going to do this. And so, and being able to do it together and see that there is a need. There's a need for it for not only the ladies in the community, the greater DFW, Oklahoma City community, but for the gyms. Like we are, one of the things that we want gym owners to know is like, send your colored belt women and let me teach you how to grow a women's, program, because I can. Like we've been doing it and we know it works. And women in jiu-jitsu, like if we're only making up 10% of the community, there's room for growth.
Absolutely.
And it's just a great like unreached people group, basically.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about like the format of the camp. And I mean, I'm sure there's been some different challenges along the way. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so it's a 2-day camp and we're hosting it at the Sheridan Hotel in a ballroom in downtown Fort Worth.
Nice.
And so, we have, each day we have 2 seminars, so 2-hour seminars followed by an hour open mat. So try what you learned. We have some breakout sessions, different subjects are like competition mindset, goal setting, how jiu-jitsu is adaptable for every body type, and then with building a women's program. Those are like our 4 subject matters for our open mats. we have some opportunities, at the end of the day for networking and social hour. We're doing a VIP lunch on the second day where it's just the black belts and whoever signed up for the lunch. So for a Q&A time.
Nice.
That's cool.
And how many black belts are you expecting?
So we have 4 black belt instructors, and then one of our breakout sessions is by a 5th black belt, a female black belt. And that's who we have on our lineup for instruction.
That's incredible. So how did you build your coaches list for this camp?
Well, my favorite coach is coaching. So Kari, I'm coaching one of them.
Oh, what a suck up. No.
The VIP is coaching Kari.
And so I guess the other 3, we have Kelsey Carter. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she is a great example of a woman that wanted to do jiu-jitsu full time. And so she has made it her job. So she teaches seminars. She has a premier commentator. She gets lots of accolades for her commentating. She's great at it. So she's going to be instructing. And then we have Liz Mitrovic, that she has, she won she is a Master 1, but she's got adult titles under her belt. She won ADCC in 2024.
Oh, wow.
And then we have Daisy Lee. I'm not really good at saying her last name because it's Brazilian, but it's Leon Ango. Okay. And so she's called the armbar hunter for obvious reasons, but she's actually a local black belt that's, won no-gi pans at black belt and brown belt. And she's really great. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. So it sounds like it's going to be so awesome. And it's in early February, right?
Yes, February 6th and 7th.
So if we were not going to a camp in Costa Rica just a couple weeks before, we would really, really love to make it. But I definitely hope we can make it to one of your camps in the future because it sounds amazing. And I love that you're giving women a space to show up as they are and, give them that safe space to, get this experience.
I think you guys are the first women that we've spoken to that are running the camp, parents, training partners,
all of the things.
Kari, you're a head coach and full-time coach, and it's impressive to see you guys not only running the camp, but how wired you have this women's program. I'm sitting here taking notes mentally, being like, I'm taking everything I learned from today's conversation alone back to the gym to be like, how do we make this better for women? So I'm definitely excited to make it to one of the camps one of these days.
Yeah. And and I know obviously jiu-jitsu has given all of us so much over the years.
My whole life.
And it's my favorite thing in the world getting women in my classes because we don't have a huge community here. So we do not have only women's classes. So I love when I have women come to my fundamental classes because it's just so fun to see that growth, especially. What do you feel like? What changes do you see in the women that you have trained with and that that come to those women's only classes?
Well, are you gonna? You can tell the story.
Okay. So they both have their blue belts now. These are my spectrum, across the spectrum, these different ladies have come into their own. So we have one lady that was a high school dropout because she was a teen mom, and she started jiu-jitsu about 2.5 years ago, maybe. And last year she decided that she believed in herself and she could go back to school and get her degree. After 13 years, she went back and got her high school diploma.
Dang, shout out to her.
Yeah, and then she said, it was I know, I do jiu-jitsu. I can do this.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, I have chills.
Yeah. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have one of our blue belts that just turned in her dissertation to get her PhD. And so she has endured writing her dissertation and turning it in her first year at being a blue belt all at one time. But one of the things, yeah, she's amazing. So one of the things that she said when she went before the board initially was that she put her white belt, because she was a white belt at the time, she stuck her white belt in her briefcase to remind herself that she was brave.
Yes. Oh God, I love her.
And I love it,
but I love her.
Yeah, you would love her. Yeah, but she is not an athletic person. She did not grow up playing sports. She likes to tell us, and it's a true story. She got her letter jacket in high school on the debate team. So
amazing. That's great.
But watching her develop and learn a new skill set, and her daughters train jiu-jitsu, and she's super inspired by them, and they have encouraged her, and watching her girls cheer her on, and it's just been amazing to watch. And so to see the ladies, in those situations, whereas, we also have women that have been victims of abuse, and they come in and it's like something clicks, I'm saying words about jiu-jitsu, but they are hearing them as like life lessons, and they break into tears. Like, I think I said, I was teaching one how to recover guard out of being stuck in mount. And I said, it's just, it's about improving your position. And to her, it was like, she's not going to be a victim anymore. Exactly. She's going to improve her position, and to, to see those types of transformations, to see the women like that are timid to like come into their own and learn to be more assertive, more aggressive. And in the same regards, you have your really aggressive white belts that come in and learn to be gentler.
Yeah. I love it though. I think it is just like such an empowering thing as a woman to train jiu-jitsu, but then being able to help facilitate other women having that empowering experience. Like, what a freaking like awesome feeling that is.
Yeah. It is amazing to see them change and see how they view themselves.
Yeah.
It changes, and the language that they use about themselves changes, and it's why we're passionate about it and love it, because, it's changed us, and we want to help we want to make sure that women can start and can get into it and get past the initial barriers of just the discomforts and, all of that, and get them in the door and get them to a place where they start loving it too.
Yeah. And then we watch them show up for each other. Like the things that we're doing to, empower them and to teach them, they pay it forward. And so these it's like watching them, like we can put a new person with them and know that they're going to take care of them, and they're going to make them feel as comfortable as possible and be encouraging. And it's just, watching it trickle down has been so great, and like, Tuesday night, we had 17 ladies in our ladies only class.
That's amazing.
It was, just watching these ladies grow and smile and be gritty and work hard and be there for each other. It's great.
Yeah. That's so special. Like, you guys are doing an amazing thing. Yeah. We're definitely going to plan. We're going to plan a trip. That sounds so incredible. I mean, on behalf of all women in the community, thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah. Are appreciative.
Damn. I love what you're doing. So what does the future look like for Unbreakable? Where do you see it going?
Well, we're going to host this camp in February. we got to get through that first.
Like, let us have success first.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the greater vision would be to do this, every year, and then also kind of branch out. I love ladies open mats. I would love to host a ladies only like tournament,
that'd be cool.
And give space for women to be introduced to tournament play, just women, in the same regard that it's more palatable for a woman to start in a ladies only class, like have them introduced to competition and make it fun and watch them cheer each other on and be there for each other and prepare for things, like to have, set a goal and take the steps necessary to achieve their goal. It's that'd be my greater vision.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Is there anything else that you guys want to add? We don't want to keep you for too long. We usually close out with a little rapid fire questions if you're down for that.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we'll have you answer. Kari go first and then Mendi go second.
Okay.
So we know you guys sound actually pretty similar. So
I think you'll be okay to go.
Okay, so first question, gi or no gi?
Okay, I say no gi.
I'm no gi.
Nice. Love it.
That works out well as training partners. What is your go-to post-competition meal?
Barbecue.
Barbecue. I mean, we always compete together and we love barbecue.
Well, Texas barbecue.
Oh yeah, you have to specify, right?
Of course.
Or like just a big steak. If we're somewhere, we're not getting Texas barbecue in Vegas, and that's where like half the majors are now. So
You gotta
we'll go for a good steak.
Yeah. If you had a super fight tomorrow, what would your walkout song be?
Oh, geez.
Oh no.
It's a tough one.
Everybody gets stumped.
All right, this is Mendi. I'm going to do it first because my last super fight, I had a song picked out and they didn't play it.
Oh,
So I'm a little bitter. Talk about messing with your game when you're like walking out and you're like, I don't even know this song.
I'd be mad.
It is a fire emoji number 9. Just saying.
That's the song.
That's the song. My
can't
kids,
wait.
my kids both did jujitsu, so we're always like, this is my walkout song.
That's awesome. Okay, who is that? I don't even know that song. Who is it by?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll find it on the TikTok.
We will look it up. That sounds awesome. What about you, Kari?
Oh man. I don't know that song. I don't know why I would walk out to it, but I like it. Fun some nights.
Oh,
like,
some nights. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
That's a good one.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Pump it up.
What do you think the hardest belt to get through was in your journey?
So
Oh, blue. Absolutely. Blue was so hard. It was a very hard belt. I was successful in competition as a white belt because I was stronger and more aggressive. And then, you get to blue belt and aggression doesn't win anymore.
No.
And so then I got to blue belt and I lost a whole lot. And so it was really, I kept telling myself, I was like, nobody's going to stop me from showing up to class, even if I lost this weekend. I was like, nobody says you have to be good at this.
It's so true.
So blue was hard.
I think blue is just, it has to be hard. Like you have to get through it. Like it's this, and I think about 75% of it is your expectation of yourself. Like you think you have this magic belt around your waist and you should know more than you know, but you were just a white belt yesterday. So like it's not actually, I tell the ladies, don't be so hard on yourself. You outgrew your white belt. You'll grow into this belt. It is good, but there's a reason why you have it for 2 years. It takes time.
And I do, I give a speech when I give my blue belts out and just talk about, like you're not that far from white belt. Be nice to yourself. Just know, the big thing I tell them is it's going to be hard, but know, like you belong here. We believe in you. We know you've earned this and, we want you here. And it's going to be hard and it's okay. You'll get through it.
Oh, I love it. So last question, and usually, typically we have one guest on, but since we have 2 of you, I can ask this a little bit differently. So I usually ask, if your best friend had to describe you in 3 words, what would they say? So I'm just going to go ahead and ask the best friend. So Kari, if you had to describe Mendi in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Well, she, which I like prepped for this, and now I'm like, well, like, yeah, because I've listened to your podcast, so I was prepped. But Mendi is caring, and she's smart. Like, she's very smart. I'm always sending her the brain emoji because she's so smart. And then she's also fearless. She just goes at stuff, and it's just she's so she'll be like, let's do this. And I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I love this. And same question for you, Mendi. What would you say your 3 words for Kari are?
Let's see. She is loyal, and she's relentless, and she's caring. Like, she cares a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, with what you guys do and what you're providing for the community, it's very clear that you guys are very caring and you care a lot about what you're doing. And like I said, on behalf of all of the women, like, thank you. So tell us where people can find you.
Okay, so we are at unbreakable-bjj.com, our website. On Instagram, we're Unbreakable Jiu Jitsu. And let me think. That's on Facebook, the same. Yeah. And then Kari is at Kari Genesis BJJ. And then I'm Mendi Carlson _BJJ. I got the BJJ when I was a blue belt because you have to do that.
Yeah.
That's when you add it. It's got the blue belt. And the colored squares show up then.
Yes.
I'm just going to die with those on there.
That's so funny. Well, awesome. So everybody listening, if you're not already, please give Kari, Mendi, and Unbreakable Jiu Jitsu a follow.
Sign up for the camp.
Yeah. And, keep an eye on what they're doing and what they're up to, because it sounds amazing and we're here for it.
And this is how we grow our sport.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
We also have I wanted to shout out my coupon code.
Please do.
It's 50 all caps OFF 50 off.
Nice.
At our registration website, you can get $50 off registration for a 1 or 2 day option. So.
Awesome. We'll put that in the notes for everybody too. They can link it there.
All right.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for giving us your time today.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it so much. And we hope to meet you in person soon. We will keep an eye on what you guys are up to and we'll make our way there.
For sure.
Yeah, and you're always welcome. Anytime you're in the Fort Worth area, Dallas area, you're welcome to come train with us.
That's perfect.
We love visitors.
Yeah.
My son is in flight school. He actually lives in Edmond, Oklahoma, and he has half his training in Dallas. So there is a good chance.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Cool, ladies, thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys have a good one.
Thanks.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Check us out on Instagram at Chokeholds and Chill Pod, or shoot us a message at chokeholdsandchillpod@gmail.com.